and I really appreciate it. Pretty excited to um, have affiliate status. And Twitch is awesome anyway. So that's great. So we've got Rusviet. Got Get Rich or Cry Trying, which may just happen without us doing anything, and 3 mountain territories that we can nab in the event that we need to. Loading a little slowly, but it's moving now, it looks like. Northeast near Trieste. Hey, Gritty Willis, how's it going, man? Come on, game, load up. Scenes. I think that's what I. All right, game. We're about there. Oh, we got the Militant board, guys. This is like my 3rd time getting the Militant board in the past few days. We have Mechanical Crimea, Industrial Saxony, a lot of good combinations in this game. Albion Agricultural, which is the weakest. And we're Rusviet Militant. So let's look at this tier list. You see Rusviet Militant there at the top as an SS combo. We've got Crimea Mechanical, which is on the next level is S. We've got Saxony Industrial as an A combo. And then our poor agricultural Albion friend is sitting at C tier. So we're the favorite in this game. It's going to be difficult to stop us in this game. Saxony goes first, trades for the standard 2 metal. They're going to produce into a deploy next turn. Albion with a trade for 2 oil. Solid start. Get an upgrade on that agricultural mat. Let's see. We've got Crimea as our neighbor, so we're going to grab a few early enlists here with the Militant board. Polania is not in the game, so the chance of anyone invading our base early is next to nothing. So we don't have to rush our mechs. We're going to trade for food 3 times, which is going to let us grab 2 enlists, probably the combat card enlist and the deploy enlist. We'll get at least one of them, if not both of them, before Crimea gets their first enlist. So Crimea is going to produce, probably trade for 2 food. What should Albion do? Try to not get last? Yeah, I've got a 3-minute strategy video up for Albion Agricultural, which highlights what I think is really the best strategy you can go with for Albion Agricultural. By about turn 13, you can get to 3 or 4 stars, depending on what your objective is, and a sizable amount of coin. So it's a pretty good strategy. I like it. I can't promise you it's going to beat Rus Militant or Crimea Mechanical consistently, but I think it gives you a decent shot of. I mean, you got to just do the best you can with the combo you're dealt, and sometimes that's going to mean winning, and sometimes it won't mean winning, but that's what you got to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our combat cards. The order here doesn't really matter that much. So Crimea is going to trade for 2 food, which is sort of their standard. Bump this comment, it looks like it got stuck. I'll watch later then. Okay, great, man. Crimea is probably going to trade for 2 food here so they can turn around and do a produce into their first enlist. which is good for us because it means we're going to get our second enlist next turn. So not only are we going to get combat cards off of all of Crimea's enlist, they're not going to get combat cards off of 2 of our enlist. And since Industrial Saxony is their neighbor to the left, there's a really good chance that Saxony won't enlist at all. So Crimea only getting 2 cards from their enlistment recruit from their neighbors is good for us. Hopefully it slows down their economy a little bit. The mechanical board is one where you've got to get, it can be card intensive depending on how you set up your worker distribution. They might go 8 workers and then not have to use many cards. But if they go 5 workers, they're going to be burning a lot of cards. That deploy and list out. No mechs up here for Albion, and no mechs down here for Crimea, and no mechs for us. So we got this deploy and list out before there are any mechs on the board, which is powerful. Good. I mean, we don't know that Albion's going to build mechs. But so far he hasn't moved off the metal. Well, he is going to build mechs because he's upgraded his deploy. So we're looking at potentially getting a whole lot of coin off that enlist. Crimea probably grabbing their enlist recruit. Get a combat card. Crimea, of course, takes the combat cards. Albion's going to deploy their first mech. I love Rusviet Militant. It's just so much fun. You get so many coins. The power's, you know, okay. You don't have a ton of power, but you can get a lot of combat cards, a lot of coins. We're gonna get our objective, get richer, by trying without really any hassle at all. Guys, was there an advertisement when you first joined the stream? I just signed up for affiliate status today, so I think there are going to be like ads occasionally, and the possibility of like, okay, there was an ad, cool. Sorry, but you know it helps me out, so thanks for bearing with it. All right, it's turn 5. Saxony just picked up their second max, so they can move out onto the board now. So far, Albion hasn't moved off their back line, which is something we hope continues because they're still sitting at no combat cards. They haven't prioritized getting their enlists out. Not for me, but I hope I will watch a lot for you. Thanks, man. Let's see. Gonna produce again here. And the next time we're gonna trade for 2 metal. What that's gonna let us do is move 1 worker this mountain and move our character out, deploy our Riverwalk mech, produce again, and then when we move up to the farm, we can deploy again. Since Saxony Industrial is in the game, we'll probably move up to this farm on the east where the encounter is. Probably bring the character up there, hopefully to be a bit protected. So what did Crimea just deployed their mech? So what we're looking for next is whether Crimea goes ahead and distributes these workers, or whether they produce one more time and go to 8 workers. At this point, if I'm Crimea and I'm looking at up here and seeing that I've already got 2 enlists on the board, I'm thinking I can't count on Saxony to enlist. Rusviet's already enlisted twice. I'm sitting on 1 combat card. I'm going to go to 8 workers because that way I can accumulate combat cards. I'll have 4 workers on food, so when I produce, I'll pick up a combat card, and then I can immediately bolster into a deploy without spending a card. I think I got to go to 8 workers here if I'm Crimea. So by going for the early enlist, maybe we slow down their game, but we make it much harder for them to go into tier 2 if they were planning on a tier 2 strategy. That is a powerful encounter option to get an upgrade in 2 resources, especially after a move action, which they just took, because now they can get 2 upgrades if they want. Right? Because they get the 1 upgrade for the 2 pop, and they can take oil, which they did, and use it as their bottom row action after the move. Probably upgrade their enlist again. Or maybe their deploy. I like what they're doing so far here. They've got a nice little engine set up. I'm gonna go for the enlist again, which means 1 produce is gonna give him enough for 3 enlists. So Saxony has to hurry up here if he wants to get any combats off of them. What do we say? We're gonna trade for 2 metal here. Now we have enough metal, like we talked about, for our first deploy. Get an extra worker on that mountain. Like that previous comment got stuck. Bump it off. Okay, Crimea going with the 5 worker spread. I'm not sure I agree with that. Maybe they'll get bailed out by the encounter and get some combat cards. You know, the metal would help them. Yeah. That metal is essentially like getting 2 combat cards for them. Because now they can produce, spend a card, get an enlist, turn around, have 4 metal, so bolster into a deploy. Means the next 2 mechs they make, they won't have to spend cards to make those mechs, which is great for them. Saxony, I guess, may be headed for the factory here. I'm not really sure what they're going to do. Albion getting their food. Being ready to turn around, start enlisting and funneling us combat cards. And here's where we start to get our coins. Expecting a produce out of Crimea. They could bolster, but I don't think that's... They'll get stuck if they do that, right? They bolster into a mech right here, then they'll only produce 4 food. They need the combat card they have. Produce food. They'll go down to 0 combat cards, but then they'll get 1 for the enlist. I mean, we're going to help them out in a minute and funnel a few cards their way. We picked up a 5. Got a couple 4s. That's nice. But I feel like Crimea needed to adapt and read the board and just see that they're not going to get a ton of combat cards in this game to work with. And try to go with 8 workers to save themselves some of those cards. Okay, Saxony is going for the factory. This may be a technological breakthrough. No upgrades and factory card. We'll see if they get an objective right here. Winning the coin count right now. Crimea in a close second. No stars on the board yet. Technically we're in last, but not expecting that to last. The game ends by a tie. Who wins? One who has the most popularity. So there are a bunch of tiebreakers. I don't have them all memorized. The first one is units. Saxony takes the worker and coin factory card. Machine over muscle. Okay, one factory card. No more than 3 workers. The first tiebreaker is units. So that includes your character, mechs, workers, and buildings. Whoever has the most of those wins. If that's a tie, the second tiebreaker is power. And the third tiebreaker is popularity. I'm not sure I've ever had a game go to the 4th tiebreaker. So I don't. Maybe somebody in chat knows what it is. I don't remember it. Okay, we have 1 metal on the ground, so we've set ourselves up nicely to where we can produce 2 metal, get the worker star, and next move, do another deploy. Saxon can invade our base. Albion can via these tunnels, but they're a long way away. Crimea can come up through this tundra. They're the only one we're really worried about. And they're still a ways away from getting there, even if they made a beeline. And they probably won't. They're probably just going to want to keep running their engine. Yeah, now we're tied for the lead. Crimea's lagging a bit. Alright, Saxon, you're going to grab some encounters here. But what would you get if you're Saxony here? Maybe the 2 food? I think the 2 food, right? I mean, the worker and the 3 food might be nice because you're currently at 4 workers, and the 1 worker gets you to 5, and it puts 3 workers on metal. But it's kind of awkward to have the workers spread out like that. But yeah, he just takes the food. He can trade for 2 food next turn if he wants. Maybe pick up that combat card recruit. Get a few combat cards off Crimea. He's currently sitting on 3. Because he chose to get that factory card where he's burning them. Yeah, he didn't need the worker because what he's probably going to do is use his factory card again. Deploy a worker on this village. He has to deploy it where there's a mech, but there's a mech here. Albion now with 5 power and 2 combat cards moving off that back line. Doubling up his character and his mech. Trying to keep himself from becoming a target. I'm not sure he's going for tier 2 in this game. That 4 food is attractive. He's not trying to get tier 2 popularity. But I think he's already set himself up to get all the food he needs, right? He just needs 3 more. He's already got 2. So 4 food's overkill, but it would save him having to produce on this spot. What'd he take? Paid for the enlist. You know, that works out because now he's got enough food. Really the same difference, but he keeps the popularity. See, I would have thought he'd rather part with that 2 popularity than give up the 3 coin in that situation. Let's see what we get here. The structure doesn't do us any good. We're not building buildings. If you're going to get 1 structure, usually it's going to be the monument. But we're not going to bolster in this game because it's over upgrade, which we don't need. Let's just take this for the popularity. let's go with speed. We're up to 15 coins now. 5 coin lead over Crimea, and everybody else is lagging substantially. Got a 2 coin lead. We're going to produce once, and that's going to get us down to 3 popularity. And then we're going to, what are you going to take from the trade on the enlist action? So I'm going to produce once and create 2 metal and 6 food. The 6 food is going to be enough to do these bottom row enlists without trading for food, which is what you're talking about. So I'm going to trade twice for a total of 4 metal. The 4 metal plus the 2 metal I'm producing right here is going to be 6, which is enough to deploy twice. So I'm only producing once more, enlisting twice, and then I can move around to get my deploys. Oh, that's a great encounter for Crimea. But he doesn't elect to get the power and the combat cards. He just goes for 1 combat card and the popularity, which is interesting. I don't know if I agree with that. Still just sitting on 2 combat cards. Saxony now at 6 workers. Means he's going to have to spend, he's got 5 popularity. So this is our last turn without taking a bottom row action, right? Unless we have to move a few times after we already have our mechs to finish off the game. So we get down to 3 pop after this produce. We get up to 5 after the enlistment bonus. We'll probably pick up this encounter, which gives us at least 6. So if Saxony's taken this already, so if we want tier 2, we might have to take this encounter or trade for a single pop at some point. Hey, Navid, how's it going? I'm as ready as I'll ever be, man. Playing against some really good players, so I'm gonna do my best. Do my best. Appreciate the well wishes, definitely. If I win tonight, for those of you who don't know, there's a tournament going on, and I'm in the semifinals. If I win tonight, I go straight to the final table, 4-player game. And if I don't win, I'll go to a elimination game. And basically, if I can win the next 2 games, I'll still get to the final table. So, a lot riding on tonight's game. Today, I'm probably on until probably 1 more game after this. Then I'll have to probably go grab dinner. Yeah, it's a tough group, no doubt. It's not the group with the #1 overall seed, but top to bottom, it's a very solid group. Ghost Wheel's done very well this tournament, so is Taser Wayne, and Joy Division, of course, is always very solid. Excellent player. So Saxony looks like he's trying to play a tier 2 game, right? Maybe go for this. Of course, he's going to have to spend pop to produce now, and the way he's distributing his workers makes it look like he's still planning to produce. What'd he get? He went for the $2 and 1 pop, so only 1 away from tier 2 popularity. Crimea now with tier 2 popularity, chomping at our heels here. I don't know why this mech is here. I don't know what purpose that's serving. What do we got after out of Crimea still happening? Enlist, mechs. That's probably it. What about Albion? He's on oil, so let's take this. Why not? Free combat. Yeah, I can fight them here, not lose any popularity. That'd be nice. Might move next turn. A lot of players sitting on quite a bit of power. I'm at 3. This is not great. I guess the question is, do we have to worry about anyone ending the game before we do? Saxony's sitting on very low power, not many combat cards. Probably doesn't have the strength right now to fight Crimea without throwing down a lot of their cards. Crimea is 2 mechs away and 1 enlist away from getting 2 stars. Crimea is not looking to end very quickly. At least 4 or 5 turns, I think. One of the really nice things about the Get Rich or Cry Trying objective is that we can just sit on it till the last turn of the game, so no one will know we're getting ready to end. Let's go ahead and start moving. Yeah, well, Rusviet Industrial was banned. Would have liked 2 pop here, but we'll take this. Yeah, we're not going to turn in the objective yet. We'll get our enlist star the next turn, and then maybe pick up a couple combats. For me, it doesn't do something about this setup here. They could be in trouble. We may not be able to pick up 2 combats against them in 1 turn because of how much power they have, though. And they're going to steal combat cards because there's Scout. Score. Got a 9 coin lead. Albion is doing well with their combination, staying ahead of the tier 2 Crimea, thanks to this 12 coins they're getting off of these flags and territory spread. This is what you want to do when you have a mat faction combination that's not as strong, is set yourself up to take territories so that the players can't really end the game. Oh yeah, back on the Industrial Rusviet was banned, I think, before Invaders from Afar came out. And by the time everyone realized how powerful the Militant board and the Innovative board were, I think Stonemeyer wasn't really actively banning combinations anymore. And I mean, you can't just ban everything that's Rusviet or Crimea, right? I mean, at some point you just have to accept that the game has certain imbalances to it and just live with it. Otherwise, you're just banning too many good combinations, and then there are bad combinations you could arguably ban, and it goes on and on. Got 3 4s now. So we would get 2 points for our stars, 5 points for our territories, and 2 for our resources. So that's 7, 8, 9 coins. We go into the next tier of popularity. Maybe we go get this encounter. That's worth it. I mean, it gets their last in list. Oh, look at these combat cards, guys. Ooh. Huh. Well, I guess we won't go get that encounter. Popularity, that would have been nice. It's going to get him to tier 2. Is that what he took? It is. Then tier 2, but still just sitting on 29. Albion have an upgraded move, they do, so they can bring all 3 units to here if they want. Sitting on... They just bring 2 units. Okay. Saxony has 6 power. Okay, let's think this through. We can pick up an easy combat right here. And then do we have enough left over to fight Crimea? The most Saxony can do is 11. So we could throw down 2 5s against Saxony and pay 1 power. And then as long as Crimea doesn't take our last 5, we'll have a 5 and 4, which is 9, and 3 power left for 12. Let's take the, take a chance, guys. No, we only need to throw down 11 because he's only got 6 power. All right, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 combat cards. He's got a 1 in 12 chance of taking our 5 and extending this game. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of cards, but to get 3 5s is still crazy. He did not take 5. And he didn't have a 5 because we had 3 of them. This is game, guys. Make sure we're winning, you know, just because, yeah. There we go. 30 coins. Good game. Thanks, man. 4-star turns are fun. How many turns was that? 14. I'll take it. I'll take it. All right, let's queue another one up.